zoning committee to order. Oh, on May the 3rd, 2022, the time is 9:40 a.m. Amanda, would you call the roll, please?
Curtis?
Yes.
Awful?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Has everyone had a chance to read the claims?
Yes.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to accept the claims as they were?
So moved.
Second.
Amanda, call the roll, please.
Curtis?
Yes.
Awful?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes. Any public comments? Reports from the departments. Kurt?
We are in the midst of printing tax bills at the moment. So our due dates are June 9th and September 9th for the 2 installments. So everybody's got an extra month in there this year.
What was the reason for that?
The state and these guys got everything done earlier than the state mainly the state got everything approved early. Usually it takes, 6 weeks at a time. And they were done in 2? So,
Right, but Bob's office was early by, almost a month? 2 weeks, something like that, 2.5. So, because Board of Review and Assessment got done early and things progressed how they did, that's why
Okay. Well, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about that extra
no, they
month.
won't.
Yeah, is the bill going out early? No, they want it later.
They'll still complain,
Okay, thanks, Kurt. Brian?
Okay, so yeah, we rolled to the treasurer's office last week and, everything in extension went fairly well. We did have a couple questions on some overlapping districts, so we're gonna be, really looking at those for the year coming up, just to make sure that these questions don't arise, and it has to do with, different extension numbers. So anyway, we're gonna be looking at those. Statement of economic interests were due on May 1st, which was a Sunday, so, after yesterday, we had, 37 that are still out, so we're going to have to send those out as certified mail to anyone that has not filed. Ballot proofing will hopefully begin, today. We have no later than Friday the 13th to get military ballots out, so those ballots have to be proofed and ready to go. And then early voting will start on or about May 19th, so we're a couple weeks away from getting into full swing voting. There are several candidates that, like candidates for governor, and also various positions, but they're all like Congress, governor, and statewide positions that are up for judicial review. So those candidates, if their objection is sustained through the judicial review, they have 7 days before the election to file as a write-in candidate. So with that, with me telling you on May 19th, we're gonna start voting, we may have some extra write-in lines on the ballot. I'm not sure how we're gonna proceed yet, but because those candidates have the opportunity to file as a write-in up to 7 days before the election, so that's gonna take us into the end of June that they can file,
Yeah.
so we'll just have to keep an eye on that.
Okay, so you've got everything under control.
Well, I hope so.
We all do.
It's part of the job, right?
Okay, Bob?
Obviously, tax, we're in 2022. We're moving fairly quickly, starting out fairly quickly with that. With the assessor election, just taking charge in first of January, some of the newer ones didn't really get a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done, so, but we proceed anyway. I've been going through building permit stuff that I know of, and it appears I'm gonna have a fairly busy spring and summer out in the field. Got quite a bit of stuff that's not been taken care of like it should have been by either contract assessors or elected assessors, so I will be getting into that and get that stuff, try to get most of that stuff caught up as I can. And that being said, it's still part of my job, but I'm tired of babysitting adults, but that's okay. The system's flawed for rural counties in the state. We've had this discussion many times. What do you do when they don't pay very well? So they get people to run, they collect a check, and they don't do anything because it's not worth the fight for what they get paid. So it's not just here, it's a statewide issue, especially anything south of I-80. So just letting you know that I will be in and out quite a bit this spring and summer, catching up on some stuff that I just kind of let go and see what was going to happen in the last couple of years. So now it's time to get it back up to snuff. So you will not, starting probably when the weather, hopefully when the weather gets decent, I'll be in and out quite a bit for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So, but we're moving forward. I do have a retirement. One of my staff is going to retire at the end of June. So I'm going to post that probably pretty quick because it's a pretty important position. She deals with all the splits that come through by deed, and that is a very necessary function that I need to get replaced as soon as possible, and hopefully even before she retires, so I get some training done with her, with the new person. And then so that's pretty much what we're doing on the assessments. So we're waiting for bills to go out. So I anticipate it being kind of busy because the real estate market, especially in certain parts of the county, was on a pretty steep up curve, and they had pretty substantial factors on assessment, and the overall rates were lower, but they didn't offset the increase in the assessment. So I'm going to have some, and I tried to notify the public best I could with PSAs and get information out, but it's like it always is. People don't see it, don't pay attention until they get the bill and they see their next bill went up $400 or $500 and they're going to freak out. So I anticipate that pretty busy as soon as next week starts. Sure, I will not into this week. So that's it on the assessment side.
Now, these counties that don't have issue building permits and that, they still have to go out and do inspections and.
Well, no, I mean the permits are issued, they just don't pick anything up.
Okay.
I can't, they're notified what's being constructed. They just, and we send out building permit copies to them 3 or 4 times a year. And so they know what's out there, so like I said, it's an ongoing problem. It's been an ongoing problem even before I was in this seat, so it's not gonna get any better until either you change the way assessment districts are formed, or you change, there's, like I said, there's been discussions for years of what do we do, and
And a lot of it has to be done legislatively, and obviously, the TOI has a lot of power in Springfield, so any trying to change to legislatively to township government usually runs into a brick wall, so. Our districts are too many, because they're and low populated, they're rural, and there's just, they just don't, we know it makes no sense to pay, anybody decent pay to
Yeah.
do the job. So you get people that just used to see it as a hobby, or see it as just something to keep busy, and they just don't do it the way they should. I have to come in behind them and pick it up and go from there. I think John have talked about it several times. I don't know what we do about it in the short term. We just keep, talking about it. Hopefully legislative. A big help would be to increase the population threshold for multi-townships, in my opinion. But we do get pushback from that, from TOI, because obviously it would reduce the number of assessment districts in the state. Right now, it's 1,000 population is the threshold. So if your township is under 1,000 population, you have to be part of a multi-township, which is a larger district, which we have several of. But this county still has 15 assessment districts with 26 total townships. And I have 7 vacancies, people that don't have elected assessors in the town districts. They're contracted, but that doesn't solve the problem. So we'll keep fighting that fight and picking it up on the back end, and so.
Okay. Planning and zoning office.
I got my report. It's actually I'm surprised with the cost, but building permits are not bad. I consider it pretty good considering.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
No, there's just a packet.
Thank you.
But not much, going, there's a few construction. We had a lot of, ag permits this last couple months, full buildings. They're on so many acres. Obviously, they get the permit for free, there's no inspections because they can't pay for them, so, receipts were up because I had one building permit for a new house. And with the cost of construction, the cost of the new construction was rather substantial. So his building permit fee was pretty hefty. So. There's nothing really on the docket again for this month coming up in May for zoning board of appeals or rezoning or anything like that. So that's another month without that, any kind of rezoning or anything like that. So that's really all I have for zoning.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
And I haven't decided when I'm gonna post that zoning administrator's position yet.
Yeah. Got any questions for Bob? Okay. Report on 2022 Mayor's Breakfast hosted by Carfi or Kaifar?
Kaifar?
How do you pronounce it?
Kaifar,
Kaifar.
right.
Okay.
Let's see here. So last week on Wednesday, IDA, Iroquois Economic Development Association, and Kankakee Iroquois Ford Association of Realtors, Tina Franklin, we joined up. We met at the end of last year, and we wanted to do something good to bring people together. So We put together a mayor's breakfast with the realtors, the State Realtors Association actually, were the ones who, funded the breakfast, and we invited the mayors to come and talk about their towns and all the incentives that they offer, just and meet realtors and just kind of start those conversations like they're not already started, but also it's just like a formal way for mayors to talk about some of the infrastructure and, you know, what they're doing now, what they're going to do. It was an excellent meeting. I would say there's around 40 people in attendance. One of the things that I was very thankful for is Mayor Randy Giggle from Clifton, Mayor Jason Matthey from Chavance, and Mayor Rick Thiesfeld from Gilman all signed up to speak. And unfortunately, Mayor Thiesfeld just had surgery on his knees, so he couldn't make it. But it was great to see Randy and Jason there. Also, the mayor from Buckley and the mayor from Beaverville showed up too, and they were there to just sit in on the conversations and meet people. Also, I invited the program that Mayor Allhands is doing here. It's through the Illinois Housing Development Authority, and it is a revitalization program that IHDA actually does for free. And it is really to get an idea of what the housing situation is in each town. And I talked to the director of that program through the state, and I said, would you like to come and talk to that? I think that would be really good because the realtors need to know, the mayors need to know, this is just a good program for each of the towns to get an assessment, and it's free, which is great. She said, I would love to do that. So I invited her to attend. She had to attend via Zoom because she ended up getting COVID like the weekend before. So that worked out good. And then also Tim Nuss, who's a Ford County board member and now the regional director for East Central Community Action Agency. He had reached out to me prior to the meeting and was telling me, hey, I'm going to do these blitz all over Iroquois County to let people know about LIHEAP and winterization and all of our programs, our scholarships. There's just a plethora of things that they're providing people that are low income and need assistance. And I said, Tim, would you like to come and talk? And he said, yes, I would. So they were there too, also to talk about their programs, which a lot of some of the mayors were not aware of it, and some of the realtors were not aware of it. So it was a very good way to share information in a very quick manner, and people were very thankful for that. So that worked out very well. And then at the end of the meeting, I was talking with Tim Nuss, and he said, one of the other things that we do is when people have fires, we also assist in like delivering meals during those fires. And I said, well, Jeff Glenn, who's the fire chief for Iroquois County over the fire chiefs, is right here in town. So I'm going to call him and see if he's available. And I met with him directly afterwards. And I do have to mention that State Representative Tom Bennett was there, and also Chief Justice Mike Burke. And just there to represent Bennett is a big supporter, obviously, of East Central Illinois Community Action, and he really is actually out there promoting that in all the different counties that's under. And then the Chief Justice reached out to Tina, or actually one of the mayors, and said, I'd like to just meet people and talk to people, so we invited him too. So afterwards, I did meet with Chief Glenn, and they have an upcoming Chiefs meeting, and so it's really going to be replicated, except IHDA won't be there, but East Central Community Action will be there to talk to the chiefs and the programs, and then again, it's sharing information and just helping people in what they do. So I did gather some cards from Tina, and I'll set them here on the counter, because I did invite everyone from the zoning committee, some of the people from IDA's board. I invited all the mayors and a lot of the people that I've known previously from Ford County, the chairman and some of the mayors from there. They have not had a mayor's meeting. This was the very first one for Iroquois County. So we hopefully will make this an annual, it will grow, and people will get, ready for it, and it'll be a good way for people to communicate, catch up. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is working with Tina Franklin, somehow, eventually in the future, the main goal would be to take the properties and enter them into either the Intersect Illinois, which is probably the lead programming through the state for bidding processes for commercial properties. Fantastic thing. It's just a matter of entering all the properties, which, no, that's easy. And keeping up on that. So that's something, that hasn't been done either. So, we've got our challenges, but I believe that it's a first step in the right direction. So,
Did the mayors from Del Rey or La Hogue show
no, no, but like I said, this is the first time. I was just thankful that, we had 5 mayors that said yes. And we did try to reach out to everybody as much as possible, but, next year we can set the date and then inform people way prior to it. And then they can, and also one of the things that Tina offered was for mayors to do like a Zoom session, so they could do, I did talk to Bill Ingold from Paxton, and he's always running and gunning. He's just got so many irons in the fire. He's a cool guy, and he's like, well, I did an interview for one of the TV stations. I could send that to you. And he must have run out of time, and we didn't get that, but that's also an option. So it's just really a great way for mayors to connect and talk about the properties there, because some of the properties are individually owned. And, that might be something too that, that just letting people know who to contact, so that's,
Okay.
it's just outreach.
Sounds like a very good thing to be participating in and to keep rolling along.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for the report.
Sure.
Is there any old business? Any new business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Ernie, are you gonna second it?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.